Anytime you brothers go like study or take a course or a class, and before the class starts, the best thing to be doing for everyone is to be reviewing the previous lesson, especially for those who didn't take their free time, not to review the previous lesson. I'm not here for me, I'm here for you guys. Right? We're learning stuff I studied already. So now you have to be more full in order to benefit. So the best thing for you to do, instead of side talking, sidebar, to be reviewing the last lesson. Because lessons are like links to a chain. It doesn't matter if you get the next 5 if you miss the last one, because it's all connected. Later on down the line, you're going to see how this very first lesson or the scene further and what we're learning now. The internet is very slow today.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Brother Khalil, can you see anything?
No, I think he left because the internet was acting up. I think he's trying to reset it now.
Oh, okay, I see. You have to join back in, Shay. The meeting is open, but I think the internet dropped you out, so that's why we can't see anything.
Okay, we're back on. Okay, you hear me now? YouTube is on. Video's on Zoom. Strong. الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور الذين كفروا بربهم يعدلون. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله لقد جاءكم رسل ربنا بالحق. So we are now at class 2. At class, Brother Muhammad Tori. The brothers up here? Oh, no. Nah. That's my brother. I'm sorry. Nah. So we're in class 2. We are at the meat of the matter, which is learning the Arabic alphabet. What did we say in the first class about the importance of the Arabic alphabet? Who remember? We said many things. Tell me anything that we said concerning the importance of the Arabic alphabet.
It's the Quran for building.
That was the Arabic language, the alphabet. We said something very important concerning the Arabic alphabet. Who remember?
They'll give it a song.
That gives you the sound. Yes. What else? The alphabet divides into 2 parts, consonants and vowels. What else? What? The huruf al-mabani, which means what? Huh? No, that was a benefit about that. They are the consonants, meaning that he said huruf al-mabani. The term in Arabic, huruf al-mabani, these are the building letters. You can't make a word without consonants.
The characteristics of a letter.
What are the characteristics of a letter? Excellent.
Its name, its shape, its sound.
Its name, its shape, and its sound. Okay, so one of the most important things we said about the Arabic alphabet is that it is the smallest unit of a language. Alphabet, the smallest unit of the language. And that if the alphabet is not learned correctly, and those 3 characteristics they mentioned, its name, its shape, and its sound, then language will not be correct thereafter. This is the foundation. We're going to write this a little bigger. Use the whole board, write this a little bigger. So we took the first 3 letters of the Arabic alphabet according to everyday Arabic. This is a ba. This bowl shape with a dot under it. Maybe the people online can't see the dot. This is a ba. The first letter. Don't be afraid. When I say this is the first letter, I know everybody probably learned Alif, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, those who went through the alphabet before. This is not, that organization of the Arabic alphabet is not revelation. It's not revelation. Before, the Arabic alphabet used to go, Abjad, Hawaz, Kalami, Sahfar. That's how it was learned. It was called Huruf Abjadiyya, and it was organized in that way. The Arabic language, as well as the Hebrew language, as well as the other Semitic languages, the mother of those languages, when we talk about languages, are families. The mother of those languages is a language called Syrianiyya. Syrianiyya. This is the mother of those languages, and this is where the alphabet come from. So the organization, do you say Alif Bata? Do you say Abjad? Do you say Abjad Hawaz? Hubbi Kalamun, and like that, or do we say Bata? It's not an issue. It's not revelation. It's not in the Quran that way. It's not in Hadith that way. So don't worry about it. This is all based on ijtihad. I want to write that a little bigger too. It's all ijtihad, meaning it's all based on the striving of the educator, how they choose to teach it in any time and place. This is bad. And the reason why this program, it goes this way is because we want to learn the building letters, the building letters first, the letters that you need to build the word. And we want to get those 3 issues cleared out: the name, the shape, and the sound. So bad. And we're going to try to take 3 at a time, but we're going to take all the letters that resemble together, that resemble one another. This is ta. This is ta. So this is a bowl shape with a dot under it. The ta is a bowl shape with 2 dots over top of it. This is tha. Same shape. With 3 dots over. Fa. So we have ba, ta, and fa. Ba is the name of this letter. So we're going to focus on ba. Ba or ba. You can say ba or ba. This is the name of this letter. Name of it is ba. The shape of it is what we see. The sound of it, each letter has a point of pronunciation. It may not seem important. It may seem tedious when we point at it. But when we get to these letters that are very easy, that the points of pronunciation are not too far from the points of pronunciation of letters in your own language, it seems easy. But we're going to get to letters in which the point of pronunciation you've never used before in your life. That no language that you speak has a letter that comes from that point. This is when the importance of what we're doing becomes revealed. So we say that. If I make a mistake and do it, I'm going to try my best not to do it because it should not be done. The ba is the first letter in the Arabic alphabet according to these lessons. And the pronunciation of the ba, as we said in the last class, is from the 2 lips. It's from the 2 lips. The 2 lips are lightly pressed together. In order to make sound, right, you need 2 things normally. Air and friction. And the friction, in order to have friction, you need a solid surface. If one of the 2 are missing, you can't get sound. Air and friction is where sound comes from, right? So, in order for this to make a sound, the letter ba, first you're going to have the friction. So we're going to take, and our 2 lips will go together. And then we're going to use pressure to press up with air, and that's how the sound comes out. But. Letter, the name is ba. So if I ask you the sound of ba, what would you say? What's the sound of ba? Now, sound of ba. Now, be careful of putting a vowel sound on it. May sound tedious or may sound petty, but as we move forward in class, when we begin memorizing Quran, you're going to find out. I hope you don't find out because I hope we get this right the first time. Because if we don't get it right the first time, we're going to find out that we're actually adding a sound to a ba that may have a sukoon. Sukoon, as we said before, it's translated in many books. You're going to see as a silent letter. When you see the sukoon, it means the letter is silent. No, it doesn't. When you see a sukoon, it means the letter is vowelless. It doesn't have a vowel, but it's never silent. So you'll get there and you'll put Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tabbat. Nope. You just added a fatha. You added a fatha. So if you want to stop on it, you're going to stop on it without a vowel. So you're going to say what tabbat. See the difference? Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tabbat. Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tabbat. You hear the difference? Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tabbat. Tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tabbat. Who noticed the difference? Who noticed the difference? What was the difference? Now, which is actually the sound of the ba. The other one I said ba, which is ba, which is fatha. Is a fatha that has been decreased in its full sound. So this is the difference that we want to be very careful for, because when we begin reciting the Quran, when you add that, you can change the meaning. When you add that extra sound, b, ba, bu, if you add an extra sound, you can change the meaning. It means you're going to be putting a vowel where a vowel doesn't exist or it's not to be pronounced, depending on the situation. And with Surah Al-Lahab, it should have been pronounced, although a fatha actually does go on that last letter. So that is the name. The shape is what we see. The sound of it is is this difficult for anyone? Is this sound? Let's go back around again. What's the sound of that? Sound of that. Again? But. Mm-hmm. But. Yeah. But. Don't say but. See, but that's like the A sound in English. So, but. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. Okay. Is this letter difficult? Is everybody confident to move on? Okay. So we talked about the makhraj of the ba before we move on. That's the makhraj. The makhraj means the point of pronunciation. It's from the two lips. I want to reiterate, like we did in the first class. The ba comes from the two lips. Pressed together. And then air is forced between them. But those two lips, when you say ba, they're not folded. You don't fold them like this, but you don't fold them like this, but, right? Nor do you make your mouth into a circle. Don't say, but. None of that is necessary. And this is why Ibn al-Jazari, rahimahullah ta'ala, he said what? He said, وَالْأَخْذُ بِالتَّجْوِيدِ حَتْمٌ لَازِمُ مَنْ لَمْ يُجَوِّدِ الْقُرْآنَ آثِمُ لِأَنَّهُ بِهِ الْإِلَهُ أَنزَلَ وَهَكَذَا مِنْهُ إِلَيْنَا وَصَلَى. Right? He said, learning tajweed is something that is a must. Whoever doesn't correct his recitation of the Quran is a sinner. Because the way we recited, it was sent down like that from our Lord, and like that is the same way that it reached us. Right? That it reached us. And then he said also, and also it is from the beautification of recitation, of reciting the Quran, right? And then in another part of the same poem, he said, وَلَيْسَ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ تَرْكِهِ. And there is nothing between reciting the Quran properly and not, or reciting the Quran correctly and abandoning the correct recitation, except for an individual exercising his jaws. Exercising his jaws. As some of our scholars explained, before learning Arabic, you were able to do it like every other language, tilqaiyan or talaqqiyan. That's what I mean to say. Talaqqiyan, meaning you hear it, you hear people using it, and then you follow the use of the language. That's how we learned our original languages. We heard the elders talking and we listened and we copied and that's how it used to be. But today, al-Arab al-Usala shibhu ma'adum. The pure Arab is almost non-existent. These are scholars, Arab scholars who are saying this about Arab people, that pure Arab people are gone. They don't exist. They don't exist anymore. Due to war, due to colonialism, due to migrating from land to other land, in the mixing of non-Arab with Arab and like that, that's it. The original Arab is gone. They used to be the Bedouin. They used to be the Bedouins. Used to be the original Arab. That the city Arabs used to send their children out to learn Arabic, pure Arabic from the Bedouins. And then they would come back into the city. Now, the people who speak Arabic fluently are two types. Al-Arab al-Musta'ajam, or Musta'ajam, the Arab that has become a non-Arab. due to his lack of the use of his own language. See, Arab, but when you talk to him, it's like he doesn't even know Arabic. So this Arab has become a non-Arab what? Al-Ajam, al-Musta'arab, and the non-Arab has become Arab. So his original tongue is not Arabic, but he's perfected it so much he's considered an Arab. These are the two types. The problem with even though these two types exist is that what? It means that no one is speaking Arabic naturally. Because the Arab who has become a non-Arab, who is lack of use of Arabic, now has to learn Arabic the same way a non-Arab has to. And the non-Arab already had another tongue. And then he had to learn Arabic. So then everybody now has to become learned in Arabic, and it's not naturally coming off in English. Now, and you'll see this, inshallah, depending on how far you intend to go. You tend to go far and try your best to perfect the Arabic language. When you begin going to the lands of the Arab and speaking Arabic with knowledge, you're going to say, wow. You're going to go to this Arab language and say, wow. And you might not do it, or you may do it, depending on your personality, but you may see that he needs to be corrected. He said that wrong. No, that's not how you say that. That's the mispronunciation. Even right now, one of the pronunciation issues in Saudi and Mamlakat al-Arabiya Saudiya, the Arabian Peninsula in Saudi Arabia, is what? The Dad. He pronounces the. Pronounce the Dad, the. Right? He say muhadara, meaning lecture, but it's muhadara, muhadara, not muhadara, right? Because muhadara is from hadara, yahduru, to be present, hadir, right? And hadara, mahdaru is from mahdara, and mahdara with a dha, depending on where it's being used, is actually a pen for camels or cows and bulls and goats, not goats. They have a different place, but like camels. This is where you put camels and pen them at. So that's when they mispronounce the word. So you had a lot of this. You have them saying yaqul, yaqul. They want to say yaqul, so they pronounce the qaf ghain. Yaqul. They say, what is he saying? Yaqul, instead of saying yaqul. So you're going to be amongst the Arab, you're going to have it. It doesn't matter. Don't say I'm in Saudi Arabia right now. This is not how it's pronounced. We're going to learn. We're going to learn the way Arabic is pronounced. Just say the same way if someone comes to you in English with slang. Doesn't matter how many people speak and use the slang. It doesn't make it correct. So the same thing with Arabic. Now, this is the back. So we talked about the point of pronunciation. It's the two lips. Just pressed against each other, no folding, no circulating, none of that. Just but, abba, The name of the letter is ba or ba, ba or ba. That's the name of it, not the sound of it. The sound of it is ba, abba, not abba, not abu, abi, not abu, abba. That's bad. Now I sent the video. Please, I sent 6 videos, 2 for each letter. We took 3 letters. I sent 2 for each letter. One showed the jaw and how the jaw should be structured. The other one showed more detail. Go over both of them. Listen to them more than once a day, over and over again, because you want to get it down. 2 videos for each letter, ba and ta. Now, that's the makhraj. Now, ba also has a characteristic that makes it distinct. The makhraj with the characteristic is what makes it distinct. If you take one without the other, then maybe the sound of a letter will resemble the sound of another letter. But when you take the makhraj, the point of pronunciation, and then you take the sifa, which is the characteristic of the letter, those together is what gives each letter complete distinction from any other letter. So number one, the makhraj of the ba, as we said, is from the 2 lips, no pressing. You don't have to say ba. You don't have to say it like that. And no folding. None of that. Just, and then air. Go. It's just that simple. It's very easy. It's very easy. The sifa of the ba is what? Al-qalqala. Al-qalqala. And of course, because we're in the beginning, just learning the alphabet, we're not going to be writing these terms down. But remember, things that we say in the beginning, they're going to come back. That's why whoever's not making review is going to come back and haunt them. If they remain in class and just keep going along without making review, the things that we discussed in the beginning is going to come back and haunt you because it's going to come back again. That's one of the beautiful, beautiful things about studying Arabic. Or I'm going to say studying Islam here. One of the beautiful things about studying Islam is that Allah Ta'ala sent down the Quran and sent down the Sunnah for our guidance. So he didn't send down a puzzle. Allah Ta'ala said what in Surah Al-Taha? مَا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْقُرْآنَ لِتَشْقَى. We have not sent down upon you the Quran to cause you difficulty. So it's not supposed to be difficult. And it's strange, عجبا لبعض المدرسين. Some teachers, they want to show you how difficult it is. It's not supposed to be difficult. We're not here to show you how, I'm trying to tell you it's actually easy. It's actually easy, right? It's not that the person that's standing in front of you teaching has reached a level that you can't reach. As long as the person standing in front of you that's teaching you has not received revelation, it means you can reach this level and pass it. Now, if somebody was standing in front of you and receive revelation, forget about it. You can't reach the level of anybody receive revelation. But I haven't received revelation. And if I ever say it, you should get up and leave. Okay, so I haven't received revelation. So it says I haven't received revelation, it means that whatever I'm doing, Hadith, Quran, Arabic, fiqh, it means that you can get there. You can get there. It means that it's only all it took was a human effort from time and ability to reach whatever level the person has reached, and it can be reached. Okay, so now the sifa is qalqala. It's like reverberation, right? It's like reverberation. So it's like the letter, the sound, the original sound of the letter, as if it doubles. So we said ba. So when you stop on the ba without a vowel, it's going to do that sound. Like an echo. Thank you. That's even better. It's like an echo of the sound of the letter. So we said the sound of the letter is ba. So when you stop on it, like we said, tabbat yada abi lahabin wa tabb. There it is. Wa tabb. Not wa tabb. Not wa tabdi. Not wa tabbu. تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب. نعم. 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 Yeah. So that's called qalqala. So now when you get the makhraj of the ba, with that echo, those two together makes ba distinct from any other letter in the alphabet. There is no other letter that does that. There's no other letter that comes from that point and makes that sound at the same time. No other letter. So now you're free from getting ba mixed up with any other letter as long as you remember that. Again. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now that's ba. Any questions about ba? Is everyone comfortable with moving on beyond ba? Is everyone comfortable with moving past ba? You sure?
Yeah.
Huh? They're like, You know, in college, when you come, you can, you can sit in, but you can't get the degree. So Zoom ain't there. Because one thing is very important when it comes to learning Arabic and learning Tajweed, because of the meticulousness of the Arabic language, is important to see the mouth. It's important to see the mouth of the student. Now, okay, now we're moving on the second letter of the Arabic alphabet according to this class, right? According to this class. Okay, so the second letter is ta. Ta. And just like the ta, you can say ta, or you can say ta, ta, or ta. One is just with alif, and one is with alif and hamza. You can say ta or ta. And we're going to learn about the hamza when we get to it. So ta. Ta is a letter that comes from the tip of the tongue. With the highest part of the back of the gum line. Ta, ta, ta. It's not from your teeth. Ta, ta. It's ta, 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 ta. Some might say, well, why do I have to do all that? What is the importance of all of that? The importance of it is that in Arabic, sounds are intentional. In Arabic, sounds are intentional. There are going to be sounds that we're going to learn connected to the letters. Later on, when you learn Tajweed, you're going to see the importance. Inshallah, you'll see it right in this class. You're going to see that if you don't make that sound, it's going to turn the letter, or it's going to make the letter begin to resemble, depending on how far you are off from the point of pronunciation and from the characteristics, it's going to make the letter sound like a different letter. Because you have some letters that are very close in proximity in pronunciation. They're very close in where they're pronounced from, like that and thaw. Thaw and ta. So now when I'm saying that, it may not sound like anything. But now when you get to reciting, who can volunteer to recite Al-Fatiha? Again? So now, when he said Ihdina Siratal Mustaqim, what he said, his pronunciation of the tha was like a hard tab. It was like a hard tab. It wasn't a tha. It wasn't a tha. It was a hard tab. He said Ihdina Siratal tha. That's the point of pronunciation of the tab. Tha. People say Siratal Mustaqim. Tha. But it's tha. Siratal. Al-tha. And the tha comes from a little behind where the tab is pronounced in order to give it that heavy sound. Tha. The letter tha is never soft, even with the kasra. Right? Even with the kasra, because kasra, as we're going to learn, it makes some letters pronounce soft, but tha is not one of them, and definitely not that. So we say Ihdina Siratal tha. Al-tha. We're going to talk about that when we get to tha, but that is that. At that, and then we're going to talk about hams, because we said that the da has hams when it's vowelless. We say at, and we let that air out. We're going to talk about that. So this is da. Be careful of saying ta. It's not ta. Letting that air out. And this is why it needs to be what? The tongue pressed against your gum line behind your teeth. Because when you press your tongue against your gum line behind your teeth saying ta, you don't let air through. Ta. Jannatin tajri min tahtiha al-anhar. If you don't put in the right way, you're going to say Jannatin tajri min tahtiha You want to sound like a tractor trailer. All the air is going to be coming out, right? جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار. جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار. You see the difference? جنات تجري من تحت. جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار. من تحتي تحتي not تحتي تحتي. That's the difference. So the qalqala of the ta comes when the ta is vowelless. When the ta is vowelless, doesn't have a vowel. But when it has a vowel, then that hams is overcome by the sound of the vowel. And it comes, and this is going to be repeated, inshallah, if we get to learn tajweed together. We're going to see that hams, that's what that is called. Hams means to whisper. So that hams is the distinction between the ta and the ta and the dal. Dal. Ta, ta, dal. Ta, ta, dal. Those three are very close where they come from. If you stop on a word that has ta and you don't give the ta, it's hams, the whisper. When you stop on it, doesn't have a vowel. No one knows is that last letter, the last consonant, a ta or a dal. And I'll give you an example. في جنات. What's the last letter?
Ta.
Ta?
You don't know. Because you didn't give
Is it because you know that word or because you heard the letter? Why? What makes you say ta? Uh-huh.
with the,
If I say Jannat, right? If I say Jannat, is it a ta or a dal? Am I saying Jannat or Jannat? Jannat. Am I saying Jannat or Jannat? Jannat. It could be either. It could be either. So this is the reason for the qalqala, the hams, and all of these things. This is the importance of it. This is the importance of it, as we're seeing. So the ta comes from tip of the tongue, the forefront of the gums. Ta, ta, ta. Now remember, this is the name of the letter we're saying. So we say ta, 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 ta. Ta. Nah, ta. You're saying da. Sometimes you're saying da. I want you to say ta. Ta. Nah, like that. Ta, ta, ta. Mm-hmm. But it's better to say that. Almost like a hamza. That. You say the. I you say that. Mm-hmm. So this is that. تعلمون. So تعلمون. Now, right? تحت. I'm not going to say تحت. No. تحت. تحتها الأنهار. تحتي. ترسل. تجري. Ta. Now we're not taking vowels yet. I just want to get the pointer. So now we put a hamza in front of it. We're going to say at. So that it's called hams. It's called. Don't say at. Mm-hmm. Again? At. Nah. 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 At. So it's da, at, da, at, da, at, da, at. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying the name of the letter. The name of the letter. I want to say the sound. So it's that, that, at, 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 that, at. That's cool. That's that. Now, we're going to go over them again with the vowels later on. And we're going to see why what we just did was important. But you guys have the recording? Inshallah khair. How does everybody feel about that? Got it? Got it. We can leave that. Okay. So now we're going to fa or fa, fa or fa. With the fa, the point of pronunciation of the fa, excuse me, is the incisor teeth. The tongue comes out of in front just a little bit, not like this, right? But it comes out of the incisor teeth. So you're going to go fa, fa. But when you do it, you're pulling your tongue back. Now remember, no, you're not going to say that. You're going to, and air is going to come. So you're going to hold back sound and let forth air. Too far, just the tip of your tongue. That's the same hence, but from a different point of pronunciation as in the dad. It's the same, like at, now we're saying, we'll do that when we come back on it. So we say, yeah, yes, your tongue out. Because if not, you're going to say, it's, nah. Don't put a foot there. Don't say that. Say, nah, just air. F, 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 nah, no. F, F, F. Don't say that. Don't put the fat on it. No, she goes, listen, Hasbukum, listen. F, 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 so this is the fact. This is the fact. This is why Ibn al-Jazari, rahimahullah ta'ala, said, وَلَيْسَ بَيْنَهُ, meaning reciting properly, وَبَيْنَ تَرْكِهِ, and leaving it off, إِلَّا, except رِيَاضَةُ امْرِئٍ بِفَكِّهِ, except the person exercising their jawbone. The one who does it a lot it may feel silly, especially for older, as the older, everybody's older here, like, what am I doing, right? Okay, so we want to have balance. This exercise is important and it's needed. But we're not going to do like some teachers, they go to extremes, they will say, go home, your tongue is heavy. They'll say, go home and get a small mirror and look in the mirror and go like this. So, no, you don't have to do all that. The most important point is to put your tongue where the letter is supposed to be pronounced and practice. It's no different when I was overseas teaching English. There are letters that Arabs are not used to. There's no P in Arabic. There's no P. So what we had to do is teach the students that you take a piece of paper, but this is a real practice that was needed. In order for them to know the difference between B and B is that B, bubble, block, or bubble, bed, beach, it doesn't have any air being projected, the B. But the P, popular, popcorn, people, pose, has air, not like B, Bobby was a good boy. Paco played profusely, right? And like that. So the same thing with the that. That. So it's air coming out with the fat. You're pushing air forward with the fat. Jerian, and nethers. The air is coming out. So this is fat. This is fat. Like kanu ahsanu athatha. Allah said kanu الذين من قبلهم كانوا أحسن أثاثا. What it points to the fact that what? The delusion of, what is it called? Human progress. It's another word for it. But no. That things get better as we get further in the future, things are getting better. Think. Human progress is a delusion. If it's not indeed getting closer to Allah, it's a delusion. Huh? No, not a delusion. You don't really say that. What did you say? What did you say?
Sheikh, I'm asking for your permission to leave the class. I have a matter to attend to, inshallah.
Okay, Naam, inshallah. Barakallah fiqh. I appreciate your attendance. See you tomorrow, inshallah.
All right, inshallah.
Alaikum salam. So Allah Ta'ala said, those who will be us, kanu ahsana athatha wa ri'ya. That they were athad, the word athad means furniture. He said they had better furniture than us. Their furniture was better. And if you don't believe me, if you peek into the world of furnishings and furnishing homes, the older it is, the more expensive it is. The newer it is, that's not real wood. I want oak. I want red cedar. They want furniture that used to be made from trees, not formica, not this pressed fake wood that it breaks and it peels and it pops open. No. So Allah Ta'ala told us that those before us, they had better furniture. Wari'ya means decor. That decor was better. Their clothing was more expensive. They had silk robes and they had crowns with rubies and emeralds and like that. That was, I mean, just look at the fact that if someone was to pass away today, it's just a dead body. If they find the body of someone that died thousands of years ago, it's a discovery. Somebody dies today, it's a dead body. Somebody died 1,000 years ago, it's a discovery. It's newsworthy. I don't know what it's called, but they wrap the mummies with, right? The people of Egypt of the past, the pharaohs. What they wrap the mummies with is worth more than any kind of clothing today, no matter what name you put on it. If you had mummy wrap, oh, this is from a tomb in Egypt, you said you had mummy wrap, you would get millions, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars for a mummy wrap. What garment of clothing today, no matter what name you put on the Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton, whatever, it would never be worth that mummy wrap. Those buildings that they built, even if they're dilapidated and fallen or struck by war, they're worth more than these houses that are being built today. It's all delusion. So I'm in there. That's all. Let's start. Okay. Yeah, it looks so dark. Okay, so that is the fat. Is everybody comfortable with fat? Sure. Now we have no. Okay. Okay. Your tongue has to come out. Or you have your tongue in your mouth. It should be on your incisor teeth, like this. Now, but don't say th. Say f. Now, if you put th, you're putting a vowel in. F. Stick your tongue out. F. 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 And when you finish, see, we say F, then you pull your tongue in. F. 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 If you had something on the tip of your tongue, and your hands were tied, how would you get it off?
I use my teeth first.
Okay. No, you want it out your mouth. You lose your teeth, it's gonna be on your teeth. Get it out of your mouth. Something on the tip of your tongue. I would go get it off your tongue. That's how you do. Get it off your tongue. Now. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Now, so is everybody comfortable with that? Everybody comfortable with that? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. You want to? Should we go to? You guys, are you ready? Want to go to vocabulary? Should we have another day with these three? Are you ready to go into the next three? Another day with these three? Okay. 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 So we're going to take these down. That's going to be our letters for this week or until we're ready to move on. We're not in a rush. Remember, when it comes to studying, it's better to read, it's better to read one book 10 times than to read 10 books. When it comes to studying, it's better to read one book 10 times than to read 10 books. Yeah. Excellent. That's what you should do. Yeah. If you read one book 10 times, you're going to know what's inside of that book. Okay, when it comes to vocabulary, the first book, please. First we're going to take is the Basmala, meaning Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So the first thing we have in the Basmala is B. This is Ba. Let me make it bigger. Make it bigger for everyone online. We have B. This is going to become for everyone a very important vocabulary word. Like, what? That's a letter. No, this is a word. It's Ba with a Kesra under it. And it's pronounced B. It's pronounced B. B. We say de. A lot of times we say de, right? When we say de, we're pronouncing the soft, the short I sound. Arabic doesn't have a short I sound in it. It's B. B. Bismillah. It's not Bismillah, it's Bismillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah, Bismillah, Bismillah. It's not Bismillah. It's not Bismillah, it's Bismillah. Bismillah, me. Be me, Bismillah, Bismillah, 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 be me, Bismillah, Bismillah. So it's be me, Bismillah, not be, it's not Bismillah, this man. Be me. So be. What does this be mean? In Bismillah, it means, translated to mean in or with. It means in or with. And it is a regular word in Arabic. And it's a preposition, and according to English grammar, a preposition. A preposition is a word, for those who don't know, it's a word that tells you the position of it. Where is it? In, with, over, under. That's what it means, preposition, to tell you the position of a thing. Around, next to, all of those words that tell you the position of a thing, that's called a preposition. Over, under, next to, in, outside. So this is a preposition even in the Arabic language. We're going to take that later. It's called harful jar or harful khaf. So harful jar, preposition, this means in or with. In or with. Be. Yeah. Now. Bismillah. Bismillah. Now. So it means in or with. Then we have ism. Make that a little bigger. The next word in the basmala is Hamza, Sin, Mim. Ism means name. Is name. Ism means names. Bismillah. So this is in or with name, right? If someone asks you, how did you come? How did you open that door? You can say, bil miftah. Bil miftah. Miftah means key. Bil and al-miftah means the key. كيف فتحت الباب؟ كيف فتحت الباب؟ How did you open the door? بالمفتاح. With the key. With the key. So you use this, بالمفتاح. So you're going to use this in Arabic. بالمفتاح, with the key. Or you can say بمفتاحي. If you add that yeah to it. بمفتاحي. With my key. بمفتاحي. With my key. So B is in name. Huh? Oh. Oh, I'm sorry, the only one? Who? Allah. The translated definition is the only one who is worshipped with right and in truth. Allah is the only one who is worshipped with right. He has the right and in truth. Meaning in reality. So everything that is worshipped other than Allah, it doesn't have the right to be worshipped, and then it's not truly being worshipped, because whatever it's being worshipped for or praised for, in reality, Allah bestowed those things. They're thanking created beings for children, for wealth, for health, for so many things. Only Allah bestowed those things. So that thing is not being worshipped in truth. If you're trying to give that praise to the one that made that thing possible, then that whatever's being worshipped besides Allah, it's false. And that worship should have two P's in the ED. Sorry, worship. The only one who is worshipped with right and in truth, Allah. So now you know when you say Bismillah, if we just want to stop there at Bismillah, we will be saying in or with the name of the only one who is worshipped with right and in truth. That's what you're saying, Lucis.
No, name the only one who worship with right and in truth.
No.
Bismillah, it sounds so short, and yet there's so much words.
Yeah. That shows you the strength of the Arabic language versus the English language.
You said that when on the phone, your kid said the opposite, because they said that.
Look, the sounds. It says sounds like you're going, whoa. It says, I speak English, but they said, what? They laugh. I said, why are you laughing? They said, because you speak English, it sounds slow, it sounds long. They make fun of it. I don't know why they say, yeah, uh-huh. No, the English, with the English. Yeah. Said war, they're making fun. Yes, the only one who is worshipped with right and in truth. This is in the name of Allah, Bismillah. Mhm. So
So,
now, from now on, what? When you pray, keep this translation in your mind. This is what's going to help you focus in prayer. One of the things that stops you from focusing in prayer is not knowing what you're saying. The more you know what you're saying, the more you're able to focus on what you're doing. If you don't know what you're saying, it's going to be hard to focus on what you're doing.
when you're praying, you can't like think of other stuff like that's happening right now or something. So when you pray, is it okay to think of like the meaning of the word?
That's what you're supposed to do.
With the name, the only one.
The name. But in this, when you put it together in the sentence, you're going to say in, or with. You can say either one. You can say in the name of the only one who is worshipped with right and in truth. You can think of that while you're hearing this release.
I'm trying to think of it so much, I just focus on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm putting out say I'm not gonna focus on it. I'm gonna focus on it.
Yeah.
Even though I'm talking to myself, that's
Mhm.
not focus.
No, that's okay. When you're talking to yourself, saying focus. Don't think of anything else. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's good. Because if not, then your mind can just drift off. Before you know it, you're riding a bike. Next thing you know, you're playing Xbox. And then next thing you know, you're at a barbecue. And then the Imam Salam's out, and you're standing there with a hot dog in your hand. What are you doing?
I don't focus and like you said what? When you go back up, I'm like, did I do that or was I just standing there?
Yep. That's what happens. So, any questions about Bismillah? Bismillah. Any questions about Bismillah? Can we go over to Ar-Rahman? Okay. Pick up Muhammad. Ar-Rahman. Ar-Rahman.
That one is so big.
I think. So Ar-Rahman, in short, try to give you guys a short definition. The unrestrictively merciful. Allah Ar-Rahman has mercy without restriction. The unrestrictedly merciful. Ar-Rahman. So we're saying Bismillahir-Rahman in the name of the only one who is worshipped with right and in truth, the unrestrictedly merciful. That's what we say. We say Bismillahir-Rahman.
How do these sound so short, but actually meaning so long?
Exactly. Bismillahir-Rahman. In the name of the only one who is worshipped with right and in truth, the unrestrictedly merciful.
When I was in those Islamic studies, like you know in Hadith, and like the Hadith was short, and then when I looked at the meaning, it was way longer.
Exactly.
Like a whole paragraph.
Yeah.
This was 2 words.
Yeah. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent with something called Jawami al-Kalim, like we talked about in the 40 Hadith class on Saturday. And Jawami al-Kalim, it means short words that have deep meanings. So he had Jawami al-Kalim. Prophet could say something very short, but the meaning is very deep. That's why the Quran is one volume, one book. But when you see the tafsir, 24 books to explain that one book. 12 books, 10 books, 7 books, all of that trying to explain one book.
It's so long.
Yeah. Okay, you guys got it? The unrestrictedly merciful. So what does B mean in Bismillah? Uh-huh. What does Isim mean?
Name.
What does Allah mean? That's right. So when we say the only one that is worshipped with right, what does that mean? Okay. Mhm. Yes, excellent answer.
He's the only one deserving.
Yeah. There it is.
That you should worship, tell the truth, and he's always right.
There it is. Any other answers? Mhm. No. Allah is not the only God. Uh-oh.
Huh?
Allah is not the only God.
Man-made.
Hmm.
Man-made.
What is a God?
Something someone worships.
Something someone worships. Do people worship other than Allah?
Yes.
That thing that they worship is their what?
But that's fake.
There we go. So there are other gods, but are they real? Why not?
Because
Because they're man-made. That's one reason.
and like how Prophet Ibrahim said, you can't move the sun to the west or something.
Yeah, mashallah. Now, this is a beautiful point that your brother Muhammad brought. He said because when Ibrahim was talking to Namrud, in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah Ta'ala said, Alam tara, because in the Quran, before going on with the ayah, you have textual arguments, meaning arguments based on revelation. Verses from the Quran are authentic statements and actions of the prophets and messengers, or specifically the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So you have textual arguments based on the text of the Quran and Sunnah, in which Allah Ta'ala said, for instance, Surah Al-Ikhlas, this is an argument from the Quran. If somebody says, your class. So if somebody says to you, Allah is 3 in 1 and he has a son, what is the best response you can give them based on revelation, not intellect?
Wait, Allah's 3 in 1?
If somebody tells you Allah is 3 in 1 and he has a son, that's it. That's the answer. قل means say. هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. This is the best answer. This is the best answer. This is the answer that Allah told us to give them. If somebody told you, this is called a textual answer based on the text of the Quran and Sunnah. If somebody told you, well, okay, yeah, it's good that you're Muslim. You should be Muslim some days, Christian some days, and we can do a little bit of both. What should your answer be based on text of the Quran and Sunnah?
Sorry. الكافرون.
Surah Al-Kafirun. قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون. Say, oh, you disbelieve. I don't worship what you worship. No, you worship what I worship. No, that's the answer. That's called textual answer. You're answering based on the text. So look at those verses in the Quran where Allah says, say, because He's telling us what to say when those questions come to us. Then you have intellectual answers. Intellectual answers, like the intellectual answer, meaning you're going to use your brain to answer them. You're not going to use a verse or hadith. Like what Ibrahim said to Nimrod. Allah Ta'ala said, أَلَمْ تَرَ إِلَى الَّذِي حَاجَّ إِبْرَاهِيمَ فِي رَبِّهِ أَنْ آتَاهُ اللَّهُ الْمُلْكَ. He said, did you not see the one who debated, argued with Ibrahim about his Lord because Allah had given that man wealth and dominion? He was a king. إِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ رَبِّيَ الَّذِي يُحْيِي وَيُمِيتُ. When Ibrahim said to him, my Lord is the one that gives life and causes death. قَالَ أَنَا أُحْيِي وَأُمِيتُ. He said, I give life and cause death. And he called for 2 men, bring me 2 men. And they were brought to him. And he said, kill him. So he had one of them killed. He said, let him go. He said, I give life and cause death. فقال إبراهيم إن الله يأتي بالشمس من المشرق فأتي بها من المغرب. He said, as he was saying, Ibrahim said, well, my Lord, Allah, causes the sun to rise from the east, you make it rise from the west. So the one who disbelieves was humiliated in the earth. And Allah does not guide rebellious, arrogant people. So he was humiliated because when Ibrahim said that to him was nothing. It's nothing.
That's why I tried to put him in the fire because.
No, that was his family. Yeah, that was the difference. Ibrahim alayhi salam had a rough life. Alayhi salam, he had a rough life. Because during his time, listen, because during his time, there were no other Muslims but him and his wife. Could you imagine being the only Muslim? Could you imagine being somewhere and being the only? And with that, he became weak in his Islam. He became stronger. When they captured him, they kidnapped Ibrahim and his wife. They kidnapped him and his wife. The same guy. Because the guy, if he liked somebody's wife, he would kidnap the husband and kill the husband and keep the wife. Now, so he captured Ibrahim. And we'll tell that story later on. Maybe part of the khutbah will be about that. Anyway, so Ar-Rahman, what does unrestrictedly mean?
Unrestricted means that it doesn't stop.
Doesn't stop.
Doesn't have a limit.
Doesn't have a limit. So Allah's mercy, when you say Ar-Rahman, you're talking about limitless mercy. So much so that Allah Ta'ala, He showers His mercy down on kuffar, every type of disbeliever. They eat from Allah's provisions. They breathe in the oxygen that Allah created. They walk on the earth that Allah Ta'ala created while denying Him. This is how merciful Allah is. Do you know of anyone? That Allah has given wealth and property and things like that, and they would take care of someone that disrespected them and didn't acknowledge them? You know of anybody like that? Anybody here would do that? Take care of somebody that disrespected you or didn't acknowledge you, and will you still feed them and clothe them? You see, you did nothing for me. Man, okay, so what? You gave me something, and they would just disrespect you and deny you every day.
Time.
Huh?
For a time.
For a period of time, you would accept that. You would accept that. How long could you accept that? A week. Oh no. Anybody else here would accept that?
Not even a week.
I don't even do it. Yeah, I'll be like, treat that same energy. You said that.
Anybody online, if you're listening, who would accept taking care of someone who denied them and rejected them and disrespected them every day?
Can't do it.
Huh?
Can't do it.
Anybody? Exactly. So only Allah Ta'ala has that mercy. These people live for centuries and centuries, and they have children. Exactly what Noah, who knows who's Prophet Noah is? Who knows that? Pay attention, you guys. You guys in class. Prophet Noah, who is it?
He's the one that had the ship,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
No.
He didn't live for 950 years. He gave dawah for 950 years. SubhanAllah. He gave dawah. He didn't live for 950. He gave dawah to his wife.
What dog would we?
Dawah called them to Islam. He called his people to Islam for 950 years.
So he lived more than that.
He lived more than that. And then the flood was sent. After 950 years of him calling the people to Islam, Allah sent down the flood. And then after that, he was taken. And then after a period of time, he passed away.
Wait, the flood of when they were on the ship for like years, right?
Allahu A'lam. I'd have no knowledge. So 950 years of dawah, just telling people about Islam. This is what he lived, right? Right? And the people did not, and Noah said, the point of him mentioned Noah, because Noah in his dua, when he asked Allah to send the flood, who knows what he said?
He said, no, he said none of them will listen or will follow you
Uh-huh.
and their offsprings. And so if you continue to allow them to have offspring, there will be no one after me to worship you.
Right. Okay, but he said something specific to connected to what we're saying about Allah being the one that has unrestricted mercy. He said
It's about that they don't,
about the kuffar.
about the far that they don't deserve your mercy, or I can't allow.
You're close. Anybody online know what did Noah say that shows how merciful Allah is?
He said if you were to allow them to,
Before that. Before that. Because that's why he said that next part. No. He said, رَبِّ لَا تَذَرْ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ دَيَّارًا. He said, oh my Lord, do not leave a single kafir on the back of the earth. لَا تَذَرْ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ دَيَّارًا. Don't leave not one of them. إِنَّكَ إِن تَذَرْهُمْ يُضِلُّ عِبَادَكَ. He said, because if you leave them, they're gonna lead your slaves astray. وَلَا يَلِدُ إِلَّا فَاجِرًا كَفَّارًا. And they're only gonna give birth to evil, ungrateful disbelievers. He said, don't leave them. Just not even a little bit of it. This is what the God of Noah, and then Allah Ta'ala sent. Allah Ta'ala sent, which was much more deeper than a flood, and inshallah we'll talk about that. But Allah is so merciful. And even though he knew what Noah said was true, he still allowed them to produce, and they produced disbelievers, and he sent prophets and messengers. This is how serious is we know that, wow, Allah is really merciful. So the hellfire is justified now. When you think about all of this, wow. And Allah still allowed them to come and have children and eat from his peaches and apples and grapes, pomegranates. And guy goes and eats an apple. He doesn't know what it's made of. He can say what he wants. And then he says, it's no God. And he's eating on the apple.
You know God made.
He's going fishing, saying there's no God. He didn't make those fish. It's amazing. Okay, so Allah Ta'ala has limitless mercy. A point needs to be made about this limitless mercy. It's only for the dunya. It's only for the dunya. So some people might say, be careful because we have a lot of antagonists. So if Allah has limitless mercy, people get raped, people get killed. Why? This is when Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, the creation, doesn't show mercy to one another. The creation. Allah didn't rape anybody. Allah didn't kill anybody. No, the creation. They don't show mercy. Allah sent down one part of his mercy for this dunya, and because of that, we don't have to worry about somebody. No, we do, but because of that, it doesn't happen on a regular basis. Somebody just come and shoot us up. I don't want to make you believe that we don't have to worry about that happening, because as the day of judgment gets closer, more and more wild things happen. So we are living in a dangerous place, and like that. And the closer we get to the day of judgment, Allah Ta'ala will remove his mercy. And this is why one of the major signs of the day of judgment is as sakin. the tranquility, the wind of tranquility that will take the soul of every believer. Every believer that's alive, when that wind comes, is going to die. And the Prophet ﷺ explained that wind, when it comes in a Muslim, the believer smells it, going to feel a pinch under his armpit like a bee sting. And then he or she will die. And then after that, nothing will be left on the face of the earth but kuffar. And they will eat, drink, and mate like cattle, like buffaloes, pigs. They'll sit back, eating and drinking and mating like animals. And then after that, the trumpet will be blown. And then everybody that's on earth will die, the mountains will crumble, the heavens will split, the sun will come close, and then it will be silence. And then Allah Ta'ala will call out, Aina mulukul ard, where are the kings of the earth? Liman al-mulk al-yawm, who has the dominion today? And there won't be any answer. And then the second blowing of the trumpet will happen. يَوْمَ يَخْرُجُونَ مِنَ الْأَجْدَاثِ سِرَاعًا. And then the people will come out of their graves in a drunken stupor, racing toward, as if they're racing toward a goal, naked, barefoot, uncircumcised. Our mother Aisha radiallahu anha said, Ya Rasulullah, they'll be naked, won't the men look at the women? The Prophet ﷺ said, on that day, the affair will be too great for anyone to even think about. The hellfire will be brought near for everybody to see. Allah said, Yawmin Azim, a mighty day. Allah said, Yawma Yaj'al Wildani Shiba, the day that will make little children go gray. The day that will make small children go gray from the terrifying events that will take place that day. And people, based on their sins and wrongdoings and corruption, will be steeped into their own sweat. Some people's sweat will come to their ankles. Some people's sweat will come to their knees. Some will come to their thighs. Some will come to their waist. Some to their belly button. Some to their chest. Some to their neck. And some will be drowning in their own sweat, but they won't be able to drown. This great day, where this restrictive mercy will be gone. And the only thing will be left is the next word. Ar-Rahim. Ar-Rahim. Be exclusively merciful. On that day, the mercy of Allah will be exclusively for the believers only. No disbeliever will. You brothers, Assalamu alaikum. Y'all two, come back. You have to get permission before you reply. Where's he at? Not right now. Well, it's only first lesson. But be exclusively merciful. So on that day, whoever is not a believer will not be shown any mercy. Everything that they did, small or great, they're going to be held accountable for. everything that they did. Believers will have intercession. Believers will have the mercy of Allah, that if Allah covered their sins in this life and it never became known publicly, He will forgive them for it on that day. All kind of mercy will be there for the believers. But the disbelievers, every single thing they said or did, they're going to be held responsible for, small and great deeds. Small and great deeds. So the exclusively merciful, Ar-Rahim. So now when you're saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, you're saying in the name of the only one who is worshipped with right and in truth, the unrestrictedly merciful, the exclusively merciful. Oh, mashallah. Glad you're doing this. The unrestrictedly merciful, the exclusively merciful. So, you guys good? Is that enough for you guys for today?
No.
More? More?
Yeah, I said more.
More? Let's leave. More or we're done?
More, inshallah.
One more. So we got,
I want to ask a question about that.
okay. Let's get the hands for more first.
More.
Okay.
Online.
Online, you guys have more too?
More.
More. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Okay, we have a question.
I can't remember this and these, but it says that Allah wrote the throne, that His mercy outweighs anger.
Yeah.
So is that part of the exclusively mercy? Because
Nah.
it'll be tied to the day of
Judge.
judgment.
This is a very, and this ayah comes in Surah Al-A'raf also. Rahmatu wasa kulli shay. Right? So Allah Ta'ala said, His mercy encompasses everything. He said, but He will write it for those of taqwa. It will be legislated for those of taqwa. So that's the explanation. Because it's a good question. Okay, you said He's unrestrictedly merciful, but yeah, that's here. In the hereafter, we're going to have restrictions on that mercy. You chose not to believe in the dunya. You got to live how you wanted to live. You didn't live by Allah's rules and regulations. You didn't live by His legislation. You didn't rule by His legislation. You ate and drank and you did whatever you wanted to. So now you didn't get any accountability in the dunya. So now in the hereafter, this is the time for accountability. And for everyone, who believed and did righteous deeds, then also based on their adherence to what Allah sent down, they will be shown that unrestricted mercy in both worlds and the exclusive mercy in the hereafter. Now, okay. We're going to take a few vocabulary words. I don't want to say outside of the Quran because these words are inside the Quran also. As we're learning Arabic, I don't want any of you, to think about rules. Don't focus on rules. Focus on patterns. You're going to notice as we begin getting into conversational Arabic, reading Arabic, that Arabic has consistent patterns of speech and word usage. Other language has the same thing, but in the Arabic language, it is more obvious and easier to detect. In the beginning, it's going to sound like I'm lying. I'm exaggerating. No, just because you've been like studying Arabic so long, you feel that way. It's going to seem like it's my personal assessment. It's not personal. This is a fact. Arabic has patterns that are consistent and repetitive. If you, and I'm going to point them out to you. When we begin to go through patterns, I'm going to point out the pattern. Follow the pattern. It's going to come again. It's going to come again. It's going to, and then you're going to say, wow, I got that. Maybe a third time, or the seventh time, or the 13th time. You're going to say, whoa, that is a pattern. That does go that, like every time I see that, it does go that way. And then what's going to happen is it's going to shorten your time of learning if you catch the pattern. If you don't catch the pattern, it's going to be like you're learning each and every rule step by step, one by one, each and every time. And it's going to seem difficult and the road is going to seem long. Okay? So remember, pay attention to patterns. I'm going to give you a word today. Some words. That green isn't dark enough. Now I can get over this. I'm just going to use the red. Okay. First word I'm going to give you guys. That's not even dark enough. Anna. Yep. Anna. Anna. It means I'm, however you want to do it. I am me. Anna. Anna. So if someone was to say, who are you? You don't have to say it. Who are you? Anna Ilyas. I am Ilyas. Just that simple. Yeah. I am Mikhail. So all you have to do is say Anna and put your name with it. That's the pattern. That's the pattern. So whoever didn't know any Arabic phrase before, this is your first Arabic phrase. Put Anna in front of your name. That's who you are. That's a full sentence in Arabic. I am Muhammad. That's it. Simple, right? Is it simple or is it hard? Simple. You sure?
Like, there's like a lot of white stuff next to it too. You don't like those?
No, you just want to write this, what I wrote. Write what I wrote. Okay, so I'm going to test everybody out. Who are you? 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 Okay, so that's it. That's your phrase. Somebody says, who are you, Anna? And your name. That's a full sentence. That's a full sentence. Okay, I'm going to give you guys another one. Write this one down. Nahnu. Nahnu. Who can say it? Nahnu. 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 Now. Okay, guys. And that's us, not US. Okay. So nahnu means we We are where, not where like where is that? Where is short for we are, conjunction, contraction.
Where?
Where? Yeah, me and you. And us. We are where and us. Nahnu. So let's say it's a group of you guys walking around in the mall. You all got clothes on, right? So somebody says, what are you guys? Huh? Nahnu Muslimun. We're Muslims. Nahnu Muslimun. Nahnu Muslimun. What are you guys? Nahnu Muslimun. Excellent. But wait till your turn. Nahnu. Nahnu. Just yeah. Nahnu. Yeah.
It's like when we checking your breath.
Nah. Yeah. Nah. Mhm. What are you guys? What are you guys? Yeah. What are you guys? What are you guys? What are you guys?
No Muslim.
Now, what are you guys? No, nah. Yeah. Remember when I said earlier, all sounds in Arabic are intentional. It's not like English. In English, there's an argument about the sound that's made when STR is used. So some linguists, some teachers of phonetics, they say you don't need to go shh when using STR. Others say no, you do. Say shh. Others say it doesn't make a difference. Some say you have to say straight. Others say no, straight. They said no, it's no SH. Why are you saying shh in there? Right? In Arabic, the sounds are intentional. So you can't say nanu, you can't say naknu. It ain't knock, it's not naknu. You have to say what? Nahnu. You gotta let the air come out. Nah. No, you pull it in. You're coming with the hands. It's nahnu. Nah. Nah. Don't be embarrassed. Yeah. Nah. 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 No. You going nah. Nah. Sing with your chest. Sing with your chest. Nah. No. No. Nah. No. Let the air drag. Nah. That's better. You have to work on it. Nahnu. 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 That means we are, where, and us. Do we have our two phrases today? Ana Muslim. Say, what are you? Ana Muslim. I'm a Muslim. What are you guys? Nahnu Muslimun. Now, so Ana Nahnu. So is that good? So we're going to start with Ana and Nahnu. We're going into the time for Salat al-Maghrib in a little while. And we're going to review these tomorrow. You don't have to write them down. Listen, guys, to the homework. Please, guys, pay attention to the homework. The homework is every person from the words that you know, in Arabic, of course, you don't have to write them down, but prepare them 5 phrases using ana. 5 phrases using ana. And you can't use anything we use today in class.
What?
Yep.
Right?
And 5 phrases using nahnu. Everybody, homework tomorrow. 5 phrases using ana and 5 phrases using nahnu. Every phrase. Okay, homework. No, homework tomorrow. Huh? You did that already. Can't use anything you use today. So you can't use your name and you can't use Muslim and Muslim. You're gonna look it up. You're gonna look it up. That's why it's called homework. Take your book with you. You forgot your book today. That's the class for the day. Any questions before you guys go out? I know the priest is calling you guys. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. You guys online, you got it? It's good? Inshallah, invite you all back. Oh, Khalil, your hand is raised.
Hi, guys.
Assalamu alaikum. Khalil, your hand is raised. I
No,
just saw it.
you had
But-
you were just mentioning the salat. That's all. I was just reiterating the salat. That's all.
Huh?
You were just mentioning Salatul Maghrib. I was just doing that.
Oh, we got about a half hour here. We got about a half hour here for that.
It just went the adhan off for me.
Huh?
The adhan minutes ago.
Oh, where you guys are at?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So if you guys need to exit, if I don't see your hands, just go ahead and exit, inshallah. But jazakum Allahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.